Figure just shocked the world by pulling in over $1 billion in Series C funding, and not just from anyone, but from some of the biggest names in tech and finance. We're talking about Parkway Venture Capital leading the round, and major players like Brookfield Asset Management, NVIDIA, Macquarie Capital, Intel Capital, Align Ventures, Tamarack Global, LG Technology Ventures, Salesforce Ventures, T-Mobile Ventures, and Qualcomm Ventures all throwing their money into the mix. With that, Figure's valuation has skyrocketed to an unbelievable $39 billion. And here's where things get even crazier. The company isn't just raising funds to expand slowly. They're hinting at something much bigger, with 3 back-to-back announcements lined up, one each day for the next 3 days. This raises the question everyone's whispering right now. Are we finally about to see Figure 03, the robot that could mark the leap into AGI-level humanoid intelligence? And if so, is Figure about to put itself ahead of Tesla, ahead of Boston Dynamics, and ahead of every single humanoid robot company on the planet? Welcome back, everyone. Alfie here, and you're watching the AI Nexus. Let's break it all down, because this is much bigger than just another funding round. The fact that Figure raised over $1 billion in a single round isn't just about money. It's about trust and belief. The companies that invested here aren't startups chasing hype. They're some of the largest corporations on Earth. NVIDIA is powering almost every AI model running today. Intel is still a cornerstone of global computing. Salesforce, T-Mobile, Qualcomm, these companies don't casually hand out checks this large. They see something in Figure that makes them believe this isn't just a robotics company. It's the company that could redefine labor, reshape economies, and maybe even spark the first true artificial general intelligence inside a humanoid body. And let's not forget Brookfield Asset Management, which manages hundreds of billions in assets globally. They don't invest in futuristic moonshots unless they see a real chance of return. Parkway Venture Capital leading this round makes sense because Parkway has already been one of Figure's strongest backers. But the fact that this list of partners is so diverse, from hardware giants to software leaders to telecom providers, tells you everything. Everyone wants a piece of Figure's future. At a $39 billion valuation, Figure is now one of the most valuable robotics companies in the world. And here's the wild part. They've reached this valuation before even rolling out a fully commercial product. That shows the level of anticipation around Figure 03, because let's face it, nobody invests at this level unless they think the company is right on the edge of something revolutionary. Now here's the part that has the robotics industry holding its breath. Figure has 3 major announcements coming, one each day for 3 days straight. That's not a random strategy. You don't time announcements like that unless you're building momentum towards something massive. So, what could those announcements be? The first could easily be related to partnerships. With so many companies investing, NVIDIA, Intel, Salesforce, Qualcomm, it makes sense that one of the announcements will highlight how these partnerships are being integrated into Figure's roadmap. Imagine Figure robots powered by NVIDIA GPUs running the most advanced AI models, with Intel and Qualcomm handling distributed computing and Salesforce integrating humanoids into enterprise workflows. That alone would be headline-worthy. The second announcement could be tied to progress on Figure 02's deployments. We've seen Figure 2 sorting packages, folding laundry, and showing dexterity that rivals human workers. Maybe they'll announce a major customer or pilot program with a global company, perhaps in logistics, manufacturing, or retail. Given the funding, this would make perfect sense. Show investors and the world that the humanoid is already doing real-world work. But the third announcement? That's the one we need to talk about, because all signs point to Figure 03. Speculation around Figure 03 has been building for months, and now, with this billion-dollar funding round and these announcements, the timing lines up perfectly. So let's talk about what Figure 03 could actually look like. First, it's clear that Figure 02 has already set the stage. Figure 2 uses a single neural network to handle multiple real-world tasks autonomously. That's a major leap, because most humanoid robots today still rely heavily on teleoperation or task-specific coding. Figure has shown that its robots are capable of generalization, learning new tasks without being reprogrammed. That's the foundation of AGI. Now imagine Figure 03. What if it's not just faster, stronger, or more dexterous than Figure 02, but it's designed to scale human-level intelligence across thousands of units? Figure's own words tell us where they're aiming. They've said, "We're full throttle to human-level intelligence." That's not marketing fluff, that's a roadmap. If Figure 03 is announced, it could be the first humanoid built from the ground up with AGI in mind. That means a brain-like architecture that integrates perception, reasoning, and action in real time. Advanced hands capable of manipulating objects with human-level precision. Hardware optimized to run massive AI models directly on device, with NVIDIA and Intel likely playing a huge role. Cloud integration through Salesforce and T-Mobile, meaning Figure robots could share intelligence across networks instantly. This wouldn't just be a humanoid robot, it would be a platform for intelligence, where every single Figure robot contributes to a collective brain, making the system smarter with every task. The bigger question is whether Figure is now openly racing to AGI before anyone else. Tesla has made huge progress with Optimus, but Elon Musk has been cautious about calling it AGI. Boston Dynamics has world-class locomotion, but their robots are still focused on industrial and research applications. Companies like 1X, Sanctuary AI, and Unitree are pushing boundaries, but none of them are positioned with this much capital, this many strategic partnerships, and this clear of a vision for human-level intelligence. If Figure 03 is truly aiming at AGI, then we're witnessing the beginning of the most important race in technology. Think about it. Whoever builds the first humanoid robot that can learn and reason like a human instantly becomes one of the most powerful companies on Earth. That robot wouldn't just replace labor, it could become the foundation of entirely new industries. And with $1 billion in fresh funding, Figure has the resources to scale at a speed we haven't seen in robotics before. Manufacturing humanoid robots is expensive. Training large-scale AI models is even more expensive. But with this funding and these partnerships, Figure is positioned to do both simultaneously. A $39 billion valuation might sound like just a number, but it tells us a lot about where investors think Figure is headed. Compare that to OpenAI, which hit valuations north of $80 billion based on ChatGPT's success. Now think about combining OpenAI-level AI intelligence with a humanoid robot body. That's the vision Figure is selling, and it's why investors are lining up. At this valuation, Figure is being treated not as a robotics startup, but as a future platform company, one that could rival Apple, Google, or Tesla in impact. The humanoid robot itself is just the beginning. The real value is in the intelligence, the data, and the network effects that come from deploying thousands of humanoids across industries. But here's the big challenge. Building a humanoid that can work is one thing. Deploying thousands into real-world environments is another. That's where Figure's partnerships come into play. With Brookfield involved, they could pilot robots in large-scale real estate and infrastructure projects. With T-Mobile, connectivity is covered. With Salesforce, humanoids could be integrated into enterprise systems to handle logistics, data entry, and customer-facing roles. And with NVIDIA and Intel, the computing backbone is solid. This ecosystem is what sets Figure apart. They're not just building a robot, they're building an entire stack that integrates AI, hardware, cloud, and industry partnerships. That's why the $1 billion matters so much. So, let's answer the question directly. Is Figure 03 the first AGI robot? If Figure 03 is unveiled with capabilities beyond what Figure 02 has shown, and if those capabilities include reasoning, learning, and generalization at a human-like level, then yes, it could be the first robot to truly earn the AGI label. Of course, AGI itself is still a debated term. Some define it as human-level intelligence across all tasks, while others say it means flexible learning across many domains. Figure seems to be targeting the latter, practical AGI that can perform a wide range of useful tasks in the physical world. And here's the kicker. Even if Figure 03 isn't full AGI yet, the trajectory they're on makes it clear that's the end game. They're not aiming for narrow AI in robots. They're aiming for intelligence that can rival human workers, and they're moving faster than anyone else. The real question isn't whether Figure 03 is the first AGI robot. The real question is whether society is ready for what that means. If robots can truly think and learn like us, then everything about work, economics, and even daily life is going to change. The companies investing in Figure clearly believe that future is close, maybe closer than anyone expected. And now, with 3 days of announcements ahead, the world is about to find out just how close we are. So stay tuned, because whether Figure 03 is officially revealed or not, one thing is undeniable. Figure has just positioned itself at the very front of the race to AGI-powered humanoids, and the next few days could mark the start of a whole new chapter in human history. New footage and announcements from the UK and China are shaking up the humanoid robotics industry right now. A British startup called the Humanoid AI is preparing to unveil its very first robot, the HMND-01, on September 18th. And at the same time, Fourier Intelligence has dropped jaw-dropping new clips of its N1 humanoid robot pulling off acrobatics like side flips and cartwheels that most humans would struggle to land. These aren't small updates. Together, they highlight two very different but equally important directions in humanoid robotics. One focused on practical industry applications and logistics, and the other on pushing the absolute limits of motion, agility, and what humanoid machines can physically achieve. Let's start with the UK's brand new humanoid robot, the HMND-01. Until now, most of the big players in humanoid robotics have been concentrated in the US, Japan, and China. We've been talking about Tesla Optimus in California, Figure 02 in Sunnyvale, Agility Robotics in Oregon, Unitree and Fourier in China, and Toyota and Honda over in Japan. But now the UK is stepping up in a serious way. The startup behind this new humanoid is called the Humanoid AI, and they've been building up a lot of buzz over the last several months. Back in June, they showed off a prototype, just enough to tease the shape of what they're building. But now, the company is gearing up for the full reveal of HMND-01 on September 18th, and the specs we already know are raising eyebrows. According to the company, the robot is designed around a wheeled chassis, but with a foldable, elevating body. That means it can drop down for stable wheeled movement, perfect for warehouses and industrial logistics, but also extend upward into a full humanoid form for tasks that require reach or more human-like interaction. Now let's put this into perspective. At 5 feet 9 inches, the HMND-01 is right around the average human height, which means it's designed to fit into environments made for people. The weight is surprisingly low for a humanoid of this size. Tesla's Optimus, for example, is over 160 pounds, and Figure's robot is even heavier. That lighter frame could give the HMND-01 an edge in energy efficiency and maneuverability. The 41 degrees of freedom is also notable. That's the number of joints and actuators the robot has to move like a human. More degrees of freedom usually mean more flexibility and dexterity, and 41 is right in the competitive range for serious humanoid development. What's almost more shocking than the specs is the timeline. The Humanoid AI has been working on this robot with a team of over 175 professionals, and they've only been at it for about 7 months. That's a blistering pace in robotics. Companies like Tesla, Agility, and Boston Dynamics have been developing their humanoids for years, if not decades. For a UK startup to go from concept to a working alpha prototype in just 7 months shows not only ambition, but also a potential shift in how fast these machines can actually be developed when the right talent and funding are in place. And they're not being shy about it. Their announcement literally says, "One bold vision. 175 plus professionals. 7 months. A robot that could change the world. Our alpha is coming September 18th. That's confidence. And it makes sense why. The market for humanoid robots is heating up faster than anyone expected. Tesla is racing to bring Optimus into factories. Figure has a major deal with BMW. Agility's Digit is already working in warehouses. Chinese companies like Unitree and Fourier are rapidly iterating on their designs. If the humanoid AI can pull this off, the UK could suddenly become a serious player in this global race. So, what's the real play here? Based on everything we know, the HMND-01 isn't being designed to do backflips or show off crazy acrobatics. Instead, it's about functionality in industry and logistics. The wheeled base is a big clue. Walking robots are impressive, but they're still less energy efficient than wheels. and wheels are often more practical for flat industrial environments like warehouses, shipping centers, or factories. The foldable, elevating body design could allow the robot to quickly shift between efficient travel and more humanoid interaction. Imagine it wheeling around a warehouse floor to pick up a box, then elevating upward to place it on a high shelf. The 15-kilogram payload isn't massive, but it's enough to handle a lot of smaller logistics tasks. If you think about e-commerce warehouses, grocery distribution centers, or hospital supply chains, a robot like this could move items, restock shelves, or deliver materials. It's not replacing heavy machinery, but it doesn't need to. It's filling in the middle ground, where flexibility, dexterity, and autonomy matter just as much as raw strength. And remember, this is just the alpha version. The humanoid AI is making it clear that this is the beginning, not the end. If they can prove the concept now, future iterations could scale up payload, runtime, and capability. While the UK is preparing for its big industrial humanoid reveal, China's Fourier Intelligence just dropped something that looks straight out of an action movie. Their N1 humanoid robot is back, and this time it's performing side flips, cartwheels, and 360-degree spins, with precision that's honestly shocking. We've seen robots do backflips before. Boston Dynamics' Atlas is famous for it. But what Fourier is showing with the N1 feels smoother, cleaner, and maybe even more stable than what we've seen in the past. The side flip in particular is impressive because it requires perfect timing, balance, and force distribution across the body. Then the cartwheel flows right after, and the robot lands with a posture that looks like it's ready for more. This isn't just about showing off. Acrobatics are one of the hardest things a humanoid can do because they push every system to its limit. The actuators have to fire with incredible precision. The balance algorithms have to adjust mid-air, and the landing has to be perfect. Any mistake could send the robot crashing down. The fact that the N1 can pull this off suggests Fourier has massively upgraded its motion control and actuator technology. It's proof that humanoids can go beyond just walking and picking things up. They can achieve truly human-level athleticism. What's fascinating here is the contrast. The humanoid AI is focusing on practicality with wheels, payloads, and industrial use cases. Fourier is going all in on motion capability, agility, and athletic display. And both paths matter. The practical path is how humanoids will enter the workforce. Companies want reliability, safety, and cost efficiency. A robot that can work in a warehouse for 4 hours straight, carry boxes, and integrate smoothly into logistics makes a real business case. That's how humanoids will first scale up and become useful. The athletic path, though, shows what humanoids can ultimately become. If a robot can do flips, it means it can handle unexpected situations, adapt to rough terrain, and recover from imbalance in ways early robots simply couldn't. Acrobatics today might look like a stunt, but tomorrow it could mean a rescue robot climbing over debris, or a service robot quickly adapting to unpredictable environments. In short, HMN-D01 is about utility, and N1 is about potential. The timing of these two updates is critical. We're at a point in 2025 where humanoid robots are transitioning from lab projects into real products. Investors are pouring money in, companies are racing to deploy, and every country wants to be seen as a leader in the space. For the UK, the launch of HMN-D01 is more than just one company's project. It's a chance to put the nation on the map in humanoid robotics. If the humanoid AI can deliver even a fraction of what they're promising, it will be a huge statement. For China, Fourier's acrobatics show that their robots aren't just cheap alternatives. They're technologically advanced, pushing the boundaries of what humanoids can do physically. This sends a signal to the world. China is not just catching up, it's competing at the highest level. Think about where this leaves us. Tesla is still building Optimus in California, and Elon Musk is promising mass production, Figure A. I just showed its robot autonomously sorting packages with a single neural network. Agility's Digit is working with Amazon. Unitree is about to unveil its G2 humanoid. Now the UK joins the game with HMN-D01, and Fourier pushes athleticism to new heights with the N1. This is starting to look less like scattered projects and more like a true global race. And in this race, every new reveal changes the game. The fact that we're even discussing a robot that can flip through the air and a brand new UK humanoid designed in just 7 months shows how fast this industry is accelerating. The future of humanoid robots isn't coming in decades. It's happening right now.